Welcome to this extra special, extraordinary Monday Magic with the Lost Books of the Essene. Oh my God. I'm Sue, if you don't know me already, and I have the privilege of being here to greet you tonight, and Shri and Kira will be joining us shortly. So, wow, it's such a huge day today, and Shri and Kira have so much to share, and it's so exciting. There's so much happening on the planet. Oh my God. And we're here right now together. How incredibly special is that? I'm so grateful, and I'm so lucky to be part of this incredible community. We are definitely better together, and we're getting stronger as we go forward each and every day. So thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. We are at the culmination of the Escalator of Ascension 2015 to 2022. How did that happen? It seems almost just like yesterday. It was 2015, and Shri and Kira were announcing about the escalator to ascension. And here we are. We're at 2022. In some ways, it seems like yesterday. In other ways, it seems like it's been 100 years. But wow, it's powerful. I mean, an incredible time on the planet. So we've been on this 7-year journey. And oh my God, if you go back and visit like the 7 polarities of free will, everything, I mean, everything that Shri and Kira put out there, has it not all come to pass? I mean, hello, oh my God. And we're in it, we're still in it right now. And I can tell you, if you haven't yet taken the 7 polarities of free will, go and grab it. It's not too late. It's like a minimal price. It's so worth it. And you'll be so glad that you did, because it will help a lot. Help with your expansion and your growth, and especially, oh my God, for this next year coming up. So go and grab it. It's in the home study section. So, oh my God. So I was sitting here today thinking about these profound energies, and what are you birthing in this moment? What is it, that you want to co-create and bring into this world? We're doing this together, and the unlimited abundance and potential of the universe is right here, right in these hands, right in our fingertips. There's miracles in these hands. There's nothing that we can't do together, right? Because we're all co-creating this beautiful reality. And that's why these lessons and these teachings are so important, because they help to keep us in our heart-centered space, in the spaciousness of the truth of who we are, as we continue to claim ever more of these beautiful beings of light that we truly are, our mastery presence. And for those of you that have already registered for the 2022 Mastery Journey, thank you and congratulations. It's going to be a powerful year, and one that I just can't say enough about. If you haven't joined yet and you want to register, please do. I can do payment plans. Just, shout me out and send me an email, call me, give me a shout, say, help, Sue, I want to do this. How do I do this? And we'll get you set up for the year ahead, because it's so going to be worth it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to every moment I get to spend with all of you. It's truly a blessing and a gift. So think about what you want to co-create, and let's do this together. And wow, tonight's teachings from the Lost Books of the Essene, it's all about reverent upliftment, And Sri and Kira are really going to unlock that for us, because there was a lot of misconception about reverence and what that really means. And, you know, how do you feel when you hear that? And so tonight we get to unlock that and uplift together. And so I'm really excited about this. And oh my God, New Year's Eve. I mean, there's just so much New Year's Eve coming up. Okay, so before I go there, the Upleveled calendar for 2022 is almost ready. I'm going to share a link in the chat as soon as I get back into the chat tonight. And for just $8.88, you can oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. Excuse me, for New Year's, if you register for our live New Year's event, for just $8.88, that's your registration. But tomorrow we're going to have another link. I believe it'll be tomorrow for 11/11. If you donate just 11/11, you're going to get the new Upleveled calendar as well. That'll be sent right to you. So forgive me. There's just so much to share. It's so exciting. And so, you know, as we all gather together this New Year's Eve and usher in the profoundness of this time on our planet, you know, each being, each spark of light that we are, coming together hand in hand as this unified field of incredible love and light, we make a difference on the planet. We truly do. So I look forward to seeing you all there at New Year's. And get our app. If you're not on the app, get the app. Stay connected with us, you know, so we can be in touch all the time. There's so much on the app for you. And just reach out if you need help and support. And if I can help you, connect with our beautiful spiritual app. Oh, so Sri and Kira will not be in the chat tonight, but our beautiful Jess Jutonin, Jana, Fanador, Kyla, we're all going to be in the chat. But I also invite you to really be with the teachings tonight. This is really special, really profound. So you're really going to want to connect deep tonight and really allow it all to absorb in your beingness, so you can take that with you. And so without further ado, I invite you to place your hands to your heart and taking in a beautiful conscious breath of divine connection. Oh. Really feel the truth of who you are and know how much I love you. And let's welcome in the masters of the party, our beloved Sri Ramka and Master Lady Kira.
Namaste. Sue, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction and all the wonderful announcements that keep us flowing with what's really going on.
You know, and we want to just say one thing and make sure everybody understands, because, hey, that link is already up. The $8.88, which is the minimum donation. Well, there is no minimum donation. That is the minimum suggested donation to join us New Year's Eve for what is going to be insane. However, when you're in there, you can adjust it to any donation your heart would like to make. And as long as it's 11/11 or more, you will automatically get that calendar on December 1. So just wanted to make sure that we had that all happening that way, Sue. And we are so grateful for you. You look stunning out there in the cosmic universe. And we're at the 2022 Ascension Escalator. We're here, the OMG moment. And so we're going to free you out to the chat to have all that wonderful, yummy kudos come your way. And we're going to dive right into that right now. We love you, Sue.
All right, beloved ones. as we move forward, I want to take this opportunity to remind you of what a wild and wondrous period of time we've been enjoying. You know, we're going to be talking about the December revelations. However, before we do, let's take a moment and just reflect that we have been traveling on the Ascension Escalator since 2015.
Wow. Now that 2015 Ascension Escalator for Sri and I began in Guatemala. And so over that entire time of the Ascension Escalator, we have had the honor of living with the Mayan, moving into Uruguay and all of the experiences of Uruguay, coming up and balancing and stabilizing in Ecuador, where full circle, we are now working with the Mayan energy again in Mexico, bringing that Ascension Escalator to the birth, to the absolute, bring your hands to your heart moment of December, when the vision, the blessing, the ground zero, so to speak, experience at Tosa Blue Mountain is happening right now. And I want you to mark the equinox, the March equinox on your calendar right now, because you will have a chance. If you cannot get here in person, and you really need to, but if you cannot get here in person, you mark that equinox weekend as well as New Year's Eve, because both will broadcast live from here, and you want to be a part of this. We have so much more to share. All those big announcements coming New Year's Eve. You want to register right now. And then you want to kind of settle in and do what Sri and I do, get your favorite beverage, right? Tonight, I'm doing one of my favorites. This is rose cardamom, and it's rose cardamom and I think mint, one of my favorite teas.
And I'm enjoying Wayusa tea from the Amazon here in Ecuador.
And Sri and I, we invite you to hold your hands to your heart. Sri and I will be literally checking out, even everyone who's around us knows, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, this coming week, Sri and I, for the first time coming into our 5th year here, in our 5th year of living here, for the first time, we are going deep into the Amazon. We must get on a plane, go to Quito, get on a van, drive another 4 hours. We are going to be deep in the Amazon. We are going to be filming. So hold that energy, because it is our intention to make contact with the Shalar people and make sure that their voice is heard at this March equinox event as well. So just a hint of what's going on behind the scenes, and that next Monday, we'll have some sneak peek of what happened in the Amazon. So should we dive in? We're at the top of the escalator. What is the escalator?
Hey,
So why don't we first and foremost, what is the escalator? Well, for those of you that may not know, way back when, in 2015, Sri and I came forward, the Ascended Mastery Presence came through, and we delivered the 7 polarities of free will. It was the vast potentialities that came through, that were charted, and that we taught in 2015. We taught in 2016. It has been available in our home study program since that time. And we've arrived at a moment right now where that chart, that escalator, as we described it, is completing.
Yes.
We're here. So what does that mean? What's going on, Sri?
Well, let me bring this chart up and share it. So let's take a peek here, because this isn't a moment to teach this, but it is a moment to feel it, to understand the flow that we have shared together as a tribe of humanity.
Well, and to celebrate the accuracy.
Yes.
Because, it's really important to pay attention that this was not written today. This came through the Master Lady Kira Ra experience in 2015, when we were still living in Guatemala.
Yes.
And so sincerely, let's all pay attention, because I remember, Sri, when we first put this out, I remember the hate mail when we even used the word polarities, people telling us, all kinds of interesting things. And that's why this was taught then, but now it's being celebrated, because look where we are and where are we going? Oh my God.
Well, and it's important to recognize that for those of you that can maintain or even just visit your ascended presence, you'll discover that this column here on the chart that has the ascended energy lists the qualities that were being cultivated through the experience of the polarity. And this is one of the gifts of maybe a little hindsight and a recognition of the truth of human learning, is we tend to pulse, we tend to learn through contrast until such time as we anchor a clear choice to hold and integrate an energy. So as we look at 2015 and the flow from fear to on one side, and the expressions of fear to the expressions of trust and the ascended energy of peace, and take a peek here at this chart. I'm not going to read it all to you, but I want you to just tune in to the dynamic that we have lived through together.
Well, and I have to jump in, because when you look at this and you look at, it was the choice. This was all about choice. We put out our book, 2012, You Have a Choice. It was not about 2012. It was about humanity itself. And so we look at what that planetary thought body energy of fear, and we were talking about how we had just had the collapse of the fourth dimension. And it was because of that collapse of the fourth dimension that this force of destruction, this fear energy, was actually finding propulsion. And that these polarity potentialities, there are 7 expressions of the polarities of free will. And that's actually what opened the Ascension Escalator, because both of these escalators are moving.
Yes.
The question is, which one are you on? And what's really powerful here is look right there in the middle. You have the density energy and the ascended energy. And here's where we're at right now in 2021, lack or abundance. And go back 2020, hopelessness or trust. How about 2019, greed or love?
Yes.
Control or compassion. Look at the journey we've been on. And as we mentioned, it's not about sharing that as much as saying we have arrived at the moment where all of that is integrating. And on New Year's Eve, we will be going through all of it and moving into the very first Insoulment for this coming experience where consciousness has not ever been before.
We are at an amazing time because of these, having danced through the polarities. I think each and every one of us is in a place to make a clearer choice, to claim our mastery presence, to integrate our mastery presence, and to be available for the next chapter.
So the choice is yours. And remember that right now in this moment, this very moment, at the end, the culminating moment of November, when we have already stepped into the energy of 2022, this culminating moment of November is the final breath of choice.
Yes.
In a year of the ascended energy of choice. As December 1 all moves into the awareness of the choice, as the first month of awareness of the year of awareness of 2022, which is the 6th, with the infinite presence, the Merkaba of self-ascension, lifting into creation and coming forward as the law of instantaneous manifestation, thereby sustaining the sea of neutrality, whereby that which is out of balance can come into balance as all contributors rise and come into the table as collaborators. Breathe up into the moment that's before us. This moment has not ever been, because we collectively, enough of us have not ever been this awake to sustain the frequency. You know, was it yesterday morning or this morning? The days are blending. We had a 7.5 earthquake.
Yeah,
It was yesterday morning, and it was 5:52, and I was sitting in bed, and I actually remember the time because I looked at the clock, and even though that earthquake epicenter was in Peru and it was a 7.5, I can share with you that Shri and I, who were up and walking around, I felt the earthquake sitting in bed, but Shri did not feel it until I pointed it out to him, because he was standing on the bedrock of Tosa Blue Mountain, where no matter how bad the ground was shaking, he was still standing in this energy of divine stability. And that we're sharing with you because that is the moment. 2022 is a profound moment for all humanity. It is a moment where we must explore this mysterious universe, because if we do not, and if we do not say yes to seeing what needs to be seen, and if we do not walk through any remaining fear of seeing it, saying it, being it, and doing it, then the new world, this birth, is going to get stuck.
Yeah.
And the last thing we want to do is deliver a stillbirth. And so collectively, our consciousness has brought us to the moment where we are awake enough to explore this mysterious universe and to collectively celebrate it. So that's where we've arrived. And the rest of that story is New Year's Eve. You have got to be there. Make sure you click on the link. It's either right here in the video description at YouTube. It's in the chat if you're with us live. Get there. Be there. $8.88 is our suggested donation. 100% of this is a donation, and $11.11 or more. Get the calendar.
You know, it's important to remember that what defines us is our consciousness,
Right?
and the way we behave and live in authentic alignment with what we know is so.
Yeah.
Technology does not save anything.
Mhm.
It is the consciousness that utilizes the technology that is the gift that we can offer, or simultaneously the destructive force that we can deploy. And so we are at a critical moment in our human experience, because our consciousness has lifted. And it's time to come forward and radiate that. And so we can all be in harmony to the highest extent capable.
And so mark your calendar, December 10, YouTube, official Sri and Kira, YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio. Make sure you are subscribed to both. We're going to show you our trailer. Here's the show that we're birthing. Be there. Watch. And so, hey guys, make a note. And if you want to be on our show, send us why. What part of this incredible universe are you exploring? What story do you know? And make sure you send that to us. Go ahead and send that to support@selfascension.com. We are already receiving that. Also, are you a musician? Are you crafting amazing music? Are you a comedian? Do you have something that you would like to share with our oneness experience audience? Get those submissions in, because this is the moment. Together, we are better.
Yes. We look forward to hearing from you and sharing your voice, your vision with others.
We are excited. And so, speaking of excited, let's dive into this moment right now. December. And I just wanted, I have to sit up, Sri. We have to sit up and bring our hands to our heart when we start discussing December, because before I dive into what this December energy means, because remember, this is that awareness moment. We are starting 2022 right now. That peak ascension escalator, I was giggling with people today saying, we're literally at the moment where it's saying, you know, ding, ding, ascension, you know, we're here.
Time to move forward.
Right. But remember, it was those polarity energies of, am I riding that escalator of fear, which is also rising, or am I riding the escalator of trust? And knowing that you cannot keep jumping between the two, and that both of these escalators are already here. In the way that time has been moving, we are already here. So I want to do a quick recap as to how we got here, because it can be confusing, and especially with the 2022 Upleveled calendar coming out. This is unlike anything you have ever seen, and because it's coming out in 2 days, we are not doing anything about it except saying, get your registration for New Year's, make your donation 1111 or more, and get the calendar right away. You need to see this. So how did we get where we are? Well, it first began with the spiral time ignition of this year. Now, remember that what you're staring at here on the outer rim, what you're seeing is, this is like a cross section of the discus of Vishnu that ignited with the 8-8 Lion's Gate of 2020. So that was when that women wellness awakening, that was when that divine trinity of the feminine energy came forward and ignited this 0-point energy field, this discus of Vishnu. And in the center, you see that eye right there. Well, that's where we are right now. And you'll notice that you see those 3 green rings that are coming out. We're going to talk about those again. And you see that, again, this is all a cross section. Well, what that is, that discus of Vishnu, which was the wellspring of the ignition through the unified field of the balance of the masculine and the feminine through the empowered feminine rising, called forward this new torus field of creation. And you're staring at the cross section, which became this year. So remember that everything this year had already happened, is happening, will happen again, and is an eternal moment for your mind of form, honestly, to get ready for what's coming. That's why the calendar is blowing my mind. If you look in the middle, you see coming up and out of the eye, that is that 0-point ignition. And this final gate, you see that November, December green circle there, is the eye. It is the moment where we are in the middle of that torus field as that 0-point generator through the ignition of our divine mastery presence, thereby able to command the form to morph and virtually become anything it wants. My body currently is the same size I was when I was, I believe, 27. And so this is really a moment where the mastery general presence, your divine mastery presence, is looking at you and saying, if you're ready, then let me help you. Mm-hmm. You have all the assistance you need because this moment in consciousness has arrived. Thereby, we are creating this together. So as we move through that, I want to offer you another share. If you're not, it's like, okay, Kira, I'm hanging with you, right? I get it. All right, we're going to go back to November because we're still here, aren't we? Right? We're here right now at the 29th, but you see where we are? We're in a moment, we're in that, I love to refer to it as a still point of creation, right?
Yeah, it feels like we're on a bit of a plateau, this stillness and getting ready to birth the next flow. Mm-hmm. And November is definitely been a month of flow. Have you noticed how much has transpired in your life and what has come forward?
Yeah, well, the flows, right?
Yes.
And when you look at that 29th that Shri was just sharing, even yesterday, but you want to go all the way back to last Friday. How has your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday unfolded? Because here's what's going to happen tomorrow. On Tuesday, you see that breath, that beautiful dragon breath. Let us not forget that this was the 3rd gate. That was what we just saw on that spiral energy. This was the 3rd gate as that rising phoenix dragon just started spinning. That was the whole month. The energy of this month was the flows, that flow of energy in the conscious awareness of choice. And on Tuesday, tomorrow, that energy of healing, vitality, health, resurrection is going to literally uplift, propel the cycle of the Phoenix dragon so that through this moment right now, humanity will arrive into December. Take in a breath, bring a hand to your heart. Here's where we are in 2 days. And what I find so powerful, Shri, is that you and I are going to be heading into the Amazon. Right. And you notice where we're going. Shri and I will actually, the illuminated new moon solar eclipse Uplevel is the day that it's our final day. As we leave the Amazon, we will return to Tosa Blue Mountain on the 5th. And if you look at Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right now, these 3 days that are the overlap. So look at the calendar that we were just at. Everything was in that kind of floaty energy. Right. But what you're not seeing is look at the eye. Remember, as we were just looking in that concentric dimensionality and that spiral time, it's all about everything weaving into the open eye. Awareness. This third gate is amplifying as the ascent to 2022 not only begins, has already begun, because remember, this is the month of awareness, and all of 2022 is a year of awareness. We are here. It is now. And the other thing I want to bring to your attention is the 19th of December.
Wow, the flow of the artwork in the calendar communicates so
Everything.
much of this flow.
Right?
And then we superimpose the linear progression of the days, and we get a glimpse of the energies that are impacting those days, and the Venus retrograde, full moon peak up level.
This Venus retrograde is so powerful, so feminine, so balanced, that it ignites for 2022. It will all be about the full moon. 2022 is going to be one of those years where you're birthing every month. Like you're just going to birth, and it's going to be, you're going to birth again, you're going to birth again, you're going to birth again. So that at the end of 2022, the 12 gifts of 2022 will be yours to command through your divine mastery presence, fully ignited in the seventh dimensional experience of presence in form. And I want you to breathe that in, because that's why Shri and I are doing the year-long journey, because this is not easy to do alone, because it has never been done before. It is one of those gifts where we are sincerely better together, and the 5-star generals are being called up.
To anchor your ascended presence takes commitment. It takes focus. It takes a community that will radiate and mirror back to you the love of your authenticity.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so as we remind you that you have a choice, that this is the time to claim, integrate, and radiate your divine mastery presence. All year long in 2022, we will be having small groups. We'll be doing private workshops, and it'll be just for those who have said, yes, I am committed to being that which I truly am and radiating that which is of the highest healing presence while I am in this body.
Now, I want you to bring a hand to your heart, because the only prerequisite for this year is your knowing that you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And we have already begun, but it's okay. You can get the videos and you can get caught up, just get in there, be a part of that. What's important to realize and remember, and I want you to just really bring your hands to your heart right now. Yeah, there you are. You are at the moment of ignition, and you are worth it. But you need to know that. To anchor in the seventh dimension, and the reason that Shri and I must take this year, and we personally will only be teaching this program for the year, because we have been instructed by the ascended realms that this is where we must focus. We must help those that are called, this first wave of generals, to attain this seventh dimensional anchoring. Because remember that to be in the seventh dimension is to anchor outside the realms of judgment of self and others, to fully hold that sea of neutrality through your divine mastery presence that is the ignition of the law of instantaneous manifestation, which we are very much modeling here at Tosa Blue Mountain, as are many other beautiful beings, all that you're going to meet New Year's Eve. So make sure you're there. So in this moment, breathe in the knowing of that birth, and breathe in the moment of knowing this moment. There we are. Because I want to offer you one more quick share, and simply this graphic to help really bring a wrapper on all of this. You see that golden escalator there, right? That's been those past 7 years. What have the past 7 years done for you? I mean, my goodness, Shri, for you and I, it's been, Guatemala, Uruguay, Ecuador, all these things. And then this diamond ray ignition. This diamond ray ignition is a miracle. This has never happened before. And it's happening in the energy of the 7-year Ascension Escalator culmination. And you see, it's like we're all at the top of the escalator. This is what that escalator of trust looks like. And we're going to have a lot more to share about this. But where are you right now? Because tonight's Insoulment really talks about that.
Absolutely. And once again, we are so touched and honored to be the custodians and the mentors and the ones that are living this energy so that we can share it with you authentically, to be able to say, yes, this is so. Yes, this is available. And yes, it is time.
Right? It is time. And so, I'm very excited that this weekend we will be having our Miracle Mastery Gathering. So for those of you that are on our app, remember, get the app. Number one, Spiritual Mastery with Sri and Kira, any device, any platform, just go grab the app. It's free, download it, but then check out the Mastery Mentorship process, because this Saturday is our Mastery Mentorship Gathering. And this is really like our first gathering of 2022. And we're going to be sharing a lot more with those of you that are part of the Mastery Mentorship team, because again, this is where Sri and I know that we need to be spending our time with those of you that are ready to anchor in that 7th dimensional space. This is, remember that Divine Mastery Presence Experience of 2022 is very mystical. This is about learning the mystical arts. This is about remembering how to remodel your body, how to remodel your life, how to really stand in your divine mastery presence as an effective collaborator, holding open that sea of neutrality for the balance of all. And so during this next year, we are very excited that Jess Juntanen will be heading up all of our other teaching programs. And so there will be all of our other programs available. Jess deserves a lot of congratulations. She's moved into a new role with Sri and Kira. And we are beyond excited and really wish you all to send her your love and appreciation. This girl, this woman, this goddess, this queen,
yes,
is, oh my gosh, I know that all of us here, Kyla, Sue, Dana, the rest of the team, let's all honor that this blessing has happened. And this blessing has happened because of another incredible angel in our community. However, we want to wait till we can introduce that being live and in person. So they say, so another reason to be there at the end of the year, and more of these Jess announcements coming, because it's all really happening.
yes.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful time to be awake.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, right? Fear or trust.
This
And
is
here,
it.
and here's the key, guys. We've had 7 years to get here. Sri and I have given you our lives over the past 7 years. We have all been loved so much that the universe has said, hey, we're going to give you 7 years. It's going to be an escalator. You get to hold on to the handrail. We're going to tell you ahead of time what the potentialities are. And when we taught this, and if you have those original class tapes, we taught it then that there was still time to affect the shift. And so the gift is that we have all learned how to navigate the time potentialities. We have opened the Upleveled during this time because we have been steadfast on this escalator. The miracles have happened, are happening, and continue to happen. And so the miracle of 2022 is, number one, it's happening. It's a miracle.
Yes.
It is a miracle. And I know you know that. And so this is a celebration that we made it to the top of the Ascension Escalator. And that I loved how Sri was sharing, and I want to put up the calendar one more time, the November calendar. Oh, no, I'm not going to do
I
that.
have to go get it.
No worries. We're not going to do that. So what I will share is this, that when Sri was talking about, it feels like we're out there on that nice plateau. We just arrived. You just got off of an escalator that you have been riding for 7 years. I don't know about you, but literally, Sri and I have spent the past few days where it's been, now let's adjust to what our life is looking like now.
And I want to offer you a little tidbit here, because how many times are you on a journey and your attention might be over here and you don't realize how far you've gone?
Right?
Because your soul knows the way. You have participated to whatever degree of consciousness that you were able to muster at the moment, given all the stresses of life and distractions and all the things that go on in life. And we are at a place where it's time to take a breath and say, okay, I am here.
I am here.
I am ready.
I am ready.
I am open.
Yo!
And I am guided. And therein, we activate our higher guidance and our conscious awareness. And it is our time to continue the journey through re-upping, making the choice and saying fear is a giggle. Fear is just something that rises and falls. It does not define me because I trust the divine nature of my essence.
And you know, that brings us to the Lost Books of the Essene. And so we're going to go ahead and bring up that PDF. Now, tonight, we are going to be offering to you the activation of the Sacred 17. And we are so grateful to be doing that with you this evening. So for those of you that have offered the kindness of a donation, you already have this PDF. You received it in your email with the Zoom link. For those of you over at YouTube, we're going to be sharing it with you right here. However, if you would like to start seeing these rebroadcasts and get a copy of these PDFs, please go to ShriandKaren.com, make a contribution to our Monday Magic experience, and join the family, and get in over here at Zoom as well. Kind of be bi-coastal. I love how you guys are going between Zoom, and I watch some of you guys flipping between the two, and I love that. Totally fun. So I want to share that in the unlocking of this extraordinary ensoulment today, there could have been 1,000 footnotes. And so instead, the option was none, because we're at a moment where what is going to be revealed here, this reverent upliftment, the timing of this in the energy of the arrival at the top of the Ascension Escalator, which, you know, this should be on the headline news. You know, it's like, hey, humanity's here now. How are we going to do this, right? This isn't a we're getting ready. This is a we are here now. You know, it's like I want to grab people by their shoulders and go, do you get it? It's today. It's now. And so this is the way that this ensoulment comes in. This ensoulment comes in and says, it's now. And it begins with that, yes, hello, it is a great and reverent moment. Each one celebrating the presence of another. The mere presence of another, just celebrating the fact that we're here. Let's get away from all of our perceptions and really take a moment and celebrate we're still here. And that we're here with clarity, with joy, and with this reverent upliftment. And so I wanted to dive in with that, Shri, because it really does kind of get you, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And it's a reminder, be here, notice that you're here, celebrate that you're here, because the clarity, the joy, and the reverent upliftment is your nourishment.
There it is. There it is. So again, we're going to be, we're not going to read all of it, but we are going to read enough because it's important to stay with the flow of that. So I love this, that they talk about how reverent upliftment creates, no, it's three. It's does, reverent upliftment does, it creates, and it celebrates.
Yes.
Yes.
Reverent upliftment is an energy and a process.
It's both.
It is a recognition and an understanding.
Two more.
It is all as it encompasses the one.
So what I found very powerful here was that was a total of 6 experiences of that as we are stepping into this year of the 6 plus the infinite, as we are activating that Merkaba of self-ascension, which stabilizes the chakras and their ascended presence, thereby offering the opportunity for us to be able even to have a year to integrate our divine mastery presence, to be able to honestly say yes and step into that experience of human form, where the divine mastery presence is consciously aware from the 7th to 9th dimension consistently, while in complete harmony with the 3rd dimensional experience. And this is why it's going to take a year of us being together to fully anchor that. So let's continue. And I found that to be really profound. Like I said, there could have been 1,000 footnotes on this one. All right. So remember, this is not a concept of a mind of density, and that's important. It is a gift that ignites when you can surrender all really all of your mind.
Yes.
And that's why they're using the word understanding. Remember that the code for mind is the word understanding. And I love this transparent connection at all times.
Well, yes.
No, but that means with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And can you do that? Can you honestly have transparent connection with yourself at all times? Because what does that really mean?
Reverent transparency comes forward through the process of upliftment. To think of upliftment limits upliftment.
I love it.
Be upliftment.
There it is.
Then you become one with upliftment. Then reverence becomes joy, and joy becomes reverence.
Think about that. Reverence becomes joy, and joy becomes reverence. And they're talking about this transitionary history, and this is really important. I love this. Shri, would you read the purple there?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
really bring your hands to your heart, guys, because just really feel this one.
This is a powerful moment in your world's transitionary history. Transitionary history is shape-shifted by the inhabitants of an experience who together co-create that which brings forth the manifest destiny of a great, glorious, and luminescent conjunction of all divine experience now.
Now, I want you to take in a breath because the very next sentence says it. This is important to understand, which means let's go back and make sure that left brain is comfortable, because at the end of the day, what they're saying is to uplift essentially is to allow. So transitionary history is essentially that which tracks with those that are aligned with density at any specific moment in a period of time, right? What's important is their choice of languaging here. It is shape-shifted by the inhabitants of an experience. Shape-shifted by the inhabitants of an experience means not limited to human, this planet, the way that we do things. They're broadening your recognition that you have shape-shifted as the inhabitant of many experiences. And they are intentionally calling out to the master, the divine master you, to really step out of any sense of victimization or polarization. Because remember those 7 polarities of free will? Well, because we live in a free will zone, those 7 polarities cycle and cycle and cycle. So what happens now that we've arrived on this plateau? Well, I can tell you right now, there's another escalator waiting for those who want to start cycling again. Only this time it goes down. And so remember that with the way those spirals work. So pay attention to what they're sharing here. This is really profound information. And as you continue, inhabitants of an experience. So consider that you are the inhabitant of an experience.
Yes.
Right? Who together, meaning you're not unique in the fact that you're inhabiting this experience. All of us here are inhabiting this experience. So together, we co-create what is coming forward into the manifested world. This is not happening outside of you. You are not a victim, and you can affect the outcome.
It is important to understand to uplift is to allow. I just want to be with that for a moment, because we are co-creating this transitionary history.
Yes.
And as we understand that to uplift is to allow, then as you allow, we offer yourself the gift of divine mastery presence. In the gift of divine mastery presence, you experience yourself in an uplifted state.
It is that ascended awareness of that which is. You feel your cellular structure rebounding. And if you gaze at the graphic there, what that is the cellular structure of the potentiality and the open eye of all time that's constantly working with these energies that as you uplift, you allow, and as you uplift and allow, the divine mastery presence is able to anchor through this cellular rebound that ignites literally like a whole new nervous system that is able to receive messages at a very different frequency. And this is what they're saying here. You literally feel your energy uplifted. You have so much energy, you don't know what to do with it. Your sleep patterns change. You're a constant source of inspiration. You're creating. Everything you touch turns to gold. You become the alchemical process of the law of instantaneous manifestation. You feel your energy uplifted in a manner that supports the experience that is here for you to unravel at the time that is unraveling. Now, this is really important to understand, because what they're saying is, look, if you are able to hold that divine mastery presence of the seventh dimensional frequency of non-judgment, then you are able to sustain living in the field where you are able to see all of the vast potentialities, thereby igniting and supporting the sea of neutrality, whereby all of the collaborators come forward to hold in a world of imbalance to balance. So really breathe that in, because that's what they're talking about here. This is what they're sharing. And let's go back to that Insoulment. Remember, this is the beautiful Essene that are sharing this. And I think this is really important to talk about, because it is here for you to unravel, meaning, hey, you, divine mastery presence, stop waiting for somebody to do it for you. All you have to do is remember who you are without doubt, and you'll be able to unravel it, because time itself in this potentiality is already unraveling. You saw that what we've been in this year, spiral time. Wait till you see next year. It makes this year look easy. And so it's about really knowing that it's for you to unravel, because once you do, at the time that is unraveling, the illusion no longer has power over you, and you are able to create with it.
Simply move forward into the presence of the great time of divine mastery understanding. In the great time of divine mastery understanding, reverence is often misunderstood.
Now, this feels very Kali Yuga. Right? And the truth will be seen as a lie, and the lie will be seen as a truth. I mean, it feels very, very Kali Yuga to me.
And this beautiful example here. A child is told, be reverent or I will beat you. Sit and be good. Funny. It's like this intense demand to conform that is brought forward often. And that is the sense of what is reverent, to keep the mouth shut. No, this is a common misunderstanding of reverence at the time of unraveling. And there are many energies that are misunderstood at the time of unraveling.
Now, when everything is unraveling, that's when the potentialities themselves expand. It's as if you saw one potentiality, but you turn and suddenly that one became much broader. So this is important right down here at the bottom.
They are always understood with great perfection for the divine completion of the energy.
So this is important, because there are many energies that are misunderstood, and they are always understood with great perfection. So through the misunderstanding, the understanding will always arise. And so let us begin. What is reverence? What is upliftment? What is transcendent joy? Take this out, take this in, they're all the same.
They're saying
they're all the same.
Reverence manifested is the expression of divine mastery presence.
Now let's stop and take a breath on that. And really bring a hand to your heart. Maybe if it's safe to close your eyes. Shri, would you read that sentence again?
Reverence manifested is the expression of divine mastery presence.
You are the reverence manifested. Thereby, the divine mastery presence is able to anchor. It is you. It is you. It is that knowing without doubt of the you. Outside of ego, outside of anything other than the knowing of the honor and the reverence to be able to be truly affecting the alchemical outcome of the divine presence. Yeah,
And this arises through your transparency to
absolutely.
be able to recognize that
Yes.
which is there.
Yes. And so here we are. It is.
It is an energy that takes no thing for granted.
I want to stop right there. It takes no thing for granted, including this moment, this breath. I want to share a story because I found it very, very beautiful and very, very touching. I was sitting with a beautiful woman, a refugee from a Middle Eastern country. And she shared something with me and said, even though I was living in war, active war, and you would watch the planes come in and she was like, you'd watch the planes come in and if you didn't go to work, you'd be fired. And if you got fired, you didn't eat. So you would literally go to work every day and you would do what you needed to do under the pressure of knowing at any time you may not see anyone. And what she shared with me, and it really touched me deeply, and I this sentence here from this Insoulment, she said, every night when we would leave at the end of the day, we would leave knowing we may not see each other in the morning. And so every day we would say goodbye that way. And every night with my family, we would say goodnight in peace, knowing that if this was our night, it would be our night. And if not, we would see each other in the morning. And I invite you to bring your hands to your heart, because this is a very beautiful woman who I was honored that she could share the story with me. So consider the depth of this sentence, going back to the PDF, in the context of someone who's currently living where they look out and they see the planes going, right? It is an energy that takes no thing for granted. Every time I pour a glass of water, every time I have the blessing of breathing the pure air here, every time, it's a thank you. Every breath is a thank you. And it's not that, thank you. It's that, thank you. This is amazing. It's remembering, it's that understanding with the presence of divine mastery energy, rather than the presence of the mind. And that's the 2022 experience right there. That's why Shri and I are going to be hand in hand for that divine mastery journey, because there is a distinct, unique experience of form that comes from the presence of divine mastery energy, rather than the presence of the mind. It is when you are awake to every experience as a joy-filled gift, without hesitation, every experience.
Let's take a breath on that.
Yeah, even the planes that are going choo, 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 choo. Really breathe that in. How many could stand up in the middle of that?
All experience is a joy-filled gift.
Yes.
How reverent is that?
Yes.
Very. Reverence does not demand proof.
Now let's really take that in. Reverence does not demand proof.
Reverence is a celebration of the gift of all experience.
I want to underline that again. It is the celebration of the gift. So reverence is more than just what they're saying here. It's the celebration of the gift of the all. It's the celebration of knowing that all is the gift. Do you see the layers of this, of
Yes.
what they're inviting us to pay attention to and to remember? And there it is again. This is not limited to this body. This is just one of many, guys. And so I love this. They go through this entire thing about being a light bulb and going through the rooms. And what's so powerful right now is they're saying, look, there are a lot right now of light bulbs that are not gonna they're not gonna make it. And so we're going to start right there. We offer you this light bulb for you to ignite your journey of the depth of remembrance of light, to enter the journey that you are on right now. The depth of a journey to remember light is huge.
Mhm.
And as they're saying, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, it is the ultimate reverent transcendent journey of reunification. Light begetting light, begetting light.
You look for it in all.
You can't help it. You come in basically programmed to be looking for light.
The filter of density is where you begin to experience disappointment and judgment, experiences where light was not found.
Remember that through the lens of density, you're looking for light constantly. So anything that to the lens of density would not look like light would be considered disappointment.
So remember, you always find light. It is simply in a different bulb than you expected.
It's not that the light wasn't there. It's always there, right? And it's there. And as you, that divine mastery presence, you receives this reverence as the joy-filled transcendent gift. Remember, that was part of the celebration. You recognize each of the bulbs. It's like suddenly they all fit the same socket, right? Some are plugged in, some are not, but within them all, the light is there.
And how they plug in and the wattage they carry, the length of their life is all divine upliftment. It is a transcendent journey. It is a great gift.
And so what they're saying is, look, you're at this moment right now where this Essene energy is literally flooding the world like this massive spotlight in the night sky. And so the question is, where are you? Where are you? And the answer is, you're where you wish to be. Wherever you are right now is where you have called yourself to be. So it's as easy as knowing that you can choose to jump into the light, or you can choose not to be seen. You can choose to be a bulb, or you can choose to not plug in at all, because these are all the gifts of reverent upliftment that are yours to uncover. So wherever you are is exactly where you wish to be, whether you're conscious of it or not. And this is important to understand, that they're saying, look, this is very much like tuning a radio. That as you tune a radio, you might walk into a room and go, whoa, like you ever walk into a room and go, what kind of energy's been here?
What kind of station is
right?
that?
And they're saying, look, it's not about the one who was there, because to them it was perfect. It's just the station. And so each frequency is finding its balancing point of transmission with all frequencies now. And this is why the station for those frequencies to find themselves is the sea of neutrality. If they're all looking, if all of these harmonic frequencies are saying, how do we all play together? Where's the conductor? Well, that sea of neutrality is saying you are safe here to be able to be. And that each has that right to be. And that when we can go further and see that this is just about tuning frequencies, then the polarity relaxes, because it's not about the polarity at all. The polarity only ever came in because of the fear. And it's been a beautiful 7 years of building it. Let's show quantum time how fast we can move it out, huh, Shri? So within those balancing frequencies.
I'm sorry, we didn't quite grab it.
Oh, we didn't grab it. Sorry, guys. Here we are.
Okay. Within that balancing are frequencies that are bound to this planet in its transitional phase. As a transitional phase of frequency shifts, some will unplug their light bulbs now.
Yep. Remember, a transitional phase of frequency shift. We are in a moment that's transitional, and we are doing a great job moving through it.
So it does not mean that these people, these beings, do not carry light. It simply means they choose not to be illuminated now. And beloved ones, in your world now, this is a vast majority of beings.
Now, take a hand to your heart, because I want to read this next part, because it's really an interesting experience here that the Essene are saying. They're saying, look, this vast majority of beings is entrenched in reverence as this deep, severe, serious issue. If you do not adhere to the seriousness, then there are ramifications, right? It's like you do this or else. It's a you do it this or else. It's that non-moving, non-open, very closed energy. And this serious ramification-based energy that's growing in our world creates ramifications in and of itself.
Right.
And that's why it's kind of a tongue in cheek for the SE dogs. They're like, now, how perfect is that? Ramifications based upon reverence as an understanding, meaning the left brain is freeing itself through it, chooses not to be available to the illuminated in the stream of consciousness, illuminated rapidly. So that's saying, it's consciously saying no to the expansion. It's constantly saying no. And this is why it's instilling these ramifications to be able to be a way to try to self-sustain an energy that's trying very hard to stay alive. And they're saying, why is this good? Well, it's good because for those who are illuminating and uplifting through the reverent transcendent joy, remember there's reverent transcendent joy, or there's this reverent ramifications. Talk about a big difference, right?
Well, yes, and to be living with only through the mental of what is reverent and you must behave, etc.
Right.
That dogmatic orientation is unplugging from the illumination of the celebration of the reverence.
You actually are building your own roadblocks, whereas through this reverent transcendent joy, your pathway's actually being cleared. So it is that simple. And so let's talk about clearing that path.
If you walk an unswept trail in the woods, you might not notice the trail is there.
Right?
It's covered in leaves and dirt and soot and rock, and you find it challenging to navigate.
Yeah.
When the leaves, soot, and the rock are cleared away, the trail is easy. You breathe better. What appeared challenging becomes indeed effortless. Beloved ones, to carry the energy of divine healing, Essene illumination with reverent joy is easier because all paths are being cleared.
Now think about that. Through your carrying of reverent joy, all paths are being cleared.
Illumination is transcendent. The gift of every experience is fuel for the journey. How you receive that fuel is your choice.
Now think about that. With your reverent joy, all paths are being cleared because you are upholding that sincerity, love, and presence, which initiates the miracle sequence of manifestation in a moment where our 0 point energy is generating. And the gift is that as that flow flows through you, you are blessed in witnessing the flow of others that instills the flow of others. It is a beautiful blessing to witness others sustain their flow and achieve their dreams. Together, we sustain that sea. And so as those paths are cleared, let us continue right here, because I want to skip ahead. And it's right here where they say, look, to be free and to be clear of the energy that pulls leaves you available to run with freedom. It means, hey, divine master, guess what? You're free to be you. OMG, go do it, because you don't have that backpack on your back anymore, right? When you don't have that backpack, you're limitless. So you're never going to wear out the engine. It's like every stride you take is just recharging it. Your light bulb has a socket at every experience because your illumination is limitless.
This is the joy of reverent presence.
Exactly.
Every experience is fuel for your journey. Every experience stimulates the recognition of joy and the reverence for all that is. This indeed is wondrous.
Right? Is this great? And what's so great is, remember, we're building up to this beautiful attunement we're going to do with you this evening. That's going to be coming up very soon here, this beautiful, beautiful practice. And so remember that those who are not illuminated now may choose to be again, because it's always a choice. And also that not everyone who's illuminated now is going to stay illuminated either, because sometimes bulb burns out. It happens, right? It's only the density mind that would ask how this could happen. Oh, that bulb was so bright. Well, as they're saying here, maybe they needed more lumens. And sometimes you just need to rest. Sometimes being is just outside of where the trust of self can go.
Mhm.
To be, you must trust. When we began tonight, we showed you the 7 polarities of free will, and it was based upon 2 energies, fear or trust. And so to sustain the gift of divine mercy for yourself, for each other, and your planet is a great gift, because that gift empowers reverent upliftment and the joyous fulfillment. It was never meant to be hard, right? So if you want to continue in a way that doesn't have that density mind seizing control, then they want to share this. And they're saying, please hear this clearly. So let's bring our hands to our heart as Shri offers this to us.
If your mind decides if you are illuminated or not, then appreciate the mind, thank the mind, and send it on a vacation.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Let your heart inspire your illumination. Let your heart inspire your energy. Let your heart receive each experience of the planet, and let the reverent joy and reunification with oneness be the fuel that propels you through all experience. Now,
Breathe that in.
yeah.
No, just breathe that in, right? If your mind is the one deciding whether or not you're illuminated, then appreciate your mind, thank it, and say, okay, I'm here, the master. Because that's what the heart is. That is, of course, that ascended heart that anchors that divine ascended, beautiful gift that you are. And let this all be the fuel that propels you, the divine mastery presence, through all experience right now. Because how you celebrate each moment, it's not that you are, right? Remember, we've already talked about that. We're celebrating every breath, the fact that we're even here. How you celebrate each moment of each day determines the next moment of each day. We are at the moment of instantaneous manifestation. You are creating this moment by moment. Humanity is creating this moment by moment. Every moment you rest and give up, every moment you think it doesn't matter, every moment you sit and say, I don't want to do this, matters. Because at that moment, if you're not celebrating, then the energy that is also not celebrating gains momentum. Right? Because that celebration determines the actual reconfiguration of your core, of you. That's what Shri and I have been modeling for you. The absolute truth that you can come forward with the complete reconfiguration of your core. And as we collectively say yes to our divine mastery presence and do that, that is how we determine the reconfiguration of the planet herself. And I find it fascinating that the Essene not come in at this point and say, many are calling out and say, what's going to happen when I die? What happens when I die? And I love how they're saying, well, why are you even choosing death?
Mm-hmm.
The reminder of our eternal nature. And I love how they're saying you can receive this at lots of level. And, some are just going to roll their eyes and say, well, we all die. And we're just going to smile and say, if you like to, right? Remember, it's all choice. How far are you willing to go beyond the boundaries of the limited perception of the mind of density that seeks to resolve every question it can create to divert you from saying yes to that which you are, thereby becoming the instantaneous creator, right? So sometimes the gift of transition is the greatest awakening in the world.
Take a breath on that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the gift of transition is the greatest awakening mechanism your world can offer.
Yeah.
In addition to your own re-emergence fully awakened, those still in density often awaken through the gift of your transition.
Now breathe that in. That's really important to remember, because here it is.
You have been living in the experience of a world of martyrdom for a very long time.
Now, the experience, remember, the you is that divine eternal mastery presence, has been living in the experience of a world. Remember, this is an illusion for a long time. And so they talk a lot about this, but what's more important is that they're saying, look, the harmonic DNA of your truth does not carry martyrdom.
Mhm.
Your truth does not carry victim consciousness because your truth is not here experiencing that. That's what the illusion has co-created. It's the energy of density through the severity of the misunderstanding of reverence that carries martyrdom, victimization, and rescuing. So thereby,
Mhm.
beloved ones,
How do you wish to proceed? It is your choice.
it is your choice. And I love this reminder. When you feel uncomfortable, you, the divine master, are growing. When you feel happy, you, the divine master, are growing. When you feel tired, you are growing. The bottom line is you are growing always. It's all the same. It always reminds me of the Bhagavad Gita. The true master smiles no matter what is perceived by the outside world as being good and or bad. That eternal presence is always. So how you grow that plant that you choose to water, that's what's going to grow. So if you water anger, anger grows because water is flow, is it not? Where flows the flow, flows the energy. So if you water anger, anger grows. If you water love, love grows. If you water your health grows because you are expandable, transmutable, harmonic, extraordinary, buoyant, and extremely malleable. So it's important to know that whatever you water will grow.
Mhm. What would you like to grow in your life? What would you like to grow on your planet?
Really pay attention to that because you're growing it. You're already doing it. And it's interesting how they go from this beautiful flow energy and all this and say, so let's talk about verbal communication. You know,
Right.
What's happening on your planet here.
You carry great power with your verbal declarations. Verbal declarations are every word that releases from your mouth.
And so what they're saying is every word that comes out of your mouth is a verbal declaration, not just what you say is a declaration. Like you can't just decide it's a declaration and make it one. Every single word is your affirmation. So what are you affirming and how do you communicate?
In this world, greater destruction is created by words than anything else. The greatest destruction on your planet comes from the verbal. Ask yourself again with deep sincerity, love, and presence. How would I like to be? What would I like to create?
Now, really be with that. And they're saying, remember, be with that with your sincerity, your love, and your presence, which is your miracle making manifested presence right there, front and center.
And as we bring that to consciousness, then invite the gift of 1 hour to consciously pay attention to every word you say. You will be delighted, amazed, uplifted, reverently joyous with what you create.
So that's important to really take an hour where you're witnessing yourself. This is practicing that fifth dimensional experience of literally becoming the witnesser of the witness. And so it's important to pay attention to everything that you are and everything that is coming in. Because what they're saying is, remember that as you understand reverent upliftment, if you hold that presence for yourself, if you choose, then your light bulb is never going to burn out because it's infinitely filled with energy. And with each word, you commit to the choice. And so I want you to really feel that and breathe into that. And before we go to this section and talk about the 17, we want to share a graphic with you. Let me share this. Here it is. So this is the infinite time experience of the 17. And you may say, wait a minute, I'm confused. So I want you to relax your eyes right now, relax your brains. If you're chatting anywhere, let that go and just really gaze into this. And as you gaze at it, what you'll notice is that this is the infinity sign that is holding open these spiraling energies of potentialities of linearity that they themselves are spinning. This is very much why the soul code charting is so important as the basis of our mastery presence, because it's through here that the sacred sequence of incarnation begins. Now, what on earth does this have to do with the 17? Well, remember that the 17 is a 1 and a 7. And that in the sacred sequence in the ascended numerological experience, the 1 plus the 7 equals the 8. The 8 is the first entrance into the archangelic experience. And when we take that 8 and we begin spinning it, it becomes the infinity symbol. And as we dissolve that infinity symbol out, we ignite our infinite nature. The power of the 17 cannot be denied. And they suggest getting a bracelet, making a little bracelet and put 17 beads on it, or just get a string and put 17 beads on it, 17 anything on it. Mm-hmm. And to allow yourself the gift of several times a day to just hold those and just count them, 1, 2, and to really give yourself that presence through that 17. And this is why it's good to have those 17 beads. And in just a moment, we're going to guide you through that. And before we do, we're going to put up just a very short 40-second experience here. And we're going to read the words from the Essene themselves. And we invite you to relax into this experience, and we will return.
From the Essene, for it is 17 loving breaths that will lead you to presence and resurrection. And remember, the 1 plus the 7 is the 8, where you will find the archangels singing to you. And when you allow the 8 to rest on its side, you will find the infinite once again.
And so we see the 1 plus the 7 becomes the infinite, becomes the 8. Becomes the experience of our divine mastery presence in the oneness again. And so breathing into that, we're going to invite you to bring your hands to your heart, and we're going to walk you through 17 seconds. We're just going to walk you through, because many, many years ago, during the time that the Essene were on our planet in this potentiality, it would take 17 years to learn what was known as conscious verbalization, so that every word would offer joyous upliftment, not only for the all, also for the self. And that until that could be mastered, a word would not be spoken. And so now we can do this in 17 seconds, 17 months, or 17 years. It doesn't matter. So as you step into that Essene gift right now, relaxing your hands on your heart, right? Shri, would you lead us through a nice deep, Shri's going to lead us through a nice deep Ave Saw breath, if it's safe to close your eyes. And then I will simply count us through 17. And as we count, visualize your life where every word said to you, every word said from you, supports only love in all of its expressions. Breathing in, calling that in, everything is supporting that.
So let's call in ever deeper presence through our breath, thinking Ave, recognizing the divine on the inhale, and on the exhale, releasing all resistance to that divine recognition. Let's begin together. Ave. Sa. And again, Ave, Sa.
And one more time.
Ave,
Sa. Focusing, feeling, seeing, being in this moment where every word said to you, every word from you, supporting love in all of its expressions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Breathing in Ave, exhaling Sa with a smile. How were those 17? Notice, and notice if your mind tried to control, then smile knowing that you can always do this again. Because culminating with this smile, culminating with this breath right now is calling you, beloved divine master, back into the ancient temples of wisdom that already exist within you. So as you practice the 17, as you ignite your divine mastery presence, it will ignite within you all of the ancient books of that which you are again, because that is the moment that has arrived right now.
So, beloved ones, as you breathe, as you practice the gift of the 17, you may notice your mind might go somewhere, it might not. Smile at that and do it again. Call forward your capacity to be in reverent presence through the practice of the 17.
Reverent reunion, joy-filled presence. Be there every moment when you give thanks for this breath. And then you give thanks for the next breath, knowing that co-creation is the blessing we each get to be with. And we're going to be with you next Monday after we have been in the Amazon. So you want to stay tuned. Make sure you've got December 10 on your calendar for the premiere of our new show. And make sure you're there New Year's. We look forward